All right, it's October, and we need to start off the show with this. Let's take an official stance as a show on candy corn. Is Fine Time pro or anti candy corn, Steve?
Candy corn sucks shit, and I'm sick of everyone pretending it's good.
I don't know why I asked you, because you don't even like anything. I should have known the answer, Kevin.
I love candy corn, and I actually do go out of my way to buy it at Halloween most years. But you know what I do like slightly better than candy corn? When you get like the little clear wrapper cube caramels around Halloween. Those are even better.
Okay, we cannot do this because last year we had a whole candy thing, didn't we, Steve? I think
we did. I'm so okay. I'm pretty sure I said the same thing.
We cannot do this right now because otherwise we'll get sucked into the candy vortex. But I just want to finish this off by saying I am also pro candy corn. Steve has been outvoted 2-1. Fine Time is pro candy corn. Let's start the show.
Fuck.
Step into video game land. Welcome to Fine Time.
Hello, party people. It's your boy Dre. Once again, it's the Fine and the Time. Kevin's back.
Hey.
Yay.
Wow. Did you enjoy your excursion? I'm kind of out of Canadian jokes at this point. Did you badgers, woodland creatures? I don't know, man.
I left Canada. I was on a nude beach in Maui for the last month.
Wow. Nice.
I've offended all of the people in Maui, and now I've returned to offend you with my nudity.
Okay.
All I'm hearing is Kevin came to America and didn't bring us any duty-free, fully dressed chips.
I feel like they're all dressed. Can you settle this for us?
I berated Steve after I listened to the last show. Yes, they are not. It is all dressed. They are not fully dressed. And I said if I heard fully dressed again, I was going on strike.
Well, please don't do that because everyone's going on strike right now. And good for them, by the way. But please don't you guys go on strike. I can't pay you any more than $0.
I was going to say, we don't have a very strong union.
I mean, unionizing against me, I mean, it's just fucked up, man. Come on.
We want our 8-minute showers bumped up to 10 minutes, and we want it now.
All right. That's fine. We don't have to strike over it. I'm just saying.
We each want our own loofah.
Oh, okay. Now that's going too far. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down with a shared loofah. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's part of the experience.
Animals. I do a podcast with animals.
who don't even know loofah. I almost said loofah contracts. That's not what I mean at all. Loofah etiquette. Why was I going to say contracts? What the fuck? Anyway.
These conversations are exactly why I do not tell my mother that I do a podcast.
She doesn't need to hear about all this shit. She can find out about your experimentations other ways. So we are going to talk about Sea of Stars. We are going to talk about it spoiler free, so no worries about that. I guess we can start by saying how much we've played. Let's start with Kevin. Kevin, this is your baby. You've been talking about this all year. You've been looking forward to this more than either of us. Me and Steve had reservations because we did not like the messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So you start here. How much have you played and how have you liked it so far? Let's set the table there.
If I had to guess, I would say I'm maybe roughly 2/3 done. I'm about 16 and a half hours in, and I've been savoring it like a fine wine. I am happy to report, if anybody remembers from our previous creative endeavor, my little go around with Biomutant and how much I was looking forward to that. It didn't quite live up to it. I mentally overhyped it a little bit, and it's not the case here. I think they had a vision for this game and they were able to realize it. I think it feels genuinely inspired, and it doesn't feel like it needs to, spend too much time relying on tropes of what it's inspired by. It looks incredible. And it's got a lot of depth to it. when I play, I keep going back to this idea when I'm playing it, that, and I'm aware that I'm slipping into this, like, God, video games are so fucking cool mode. I love video games. I think I really do. I think this game is going to stick with me for a long time. And this is going to be one of the games that in like 3 or 4 years, I still like remember portions of and look back fondly on. So yeah, definitely enjoying my time with it so far.
Okay. Excellent. And I figured you would. As I was playing through the game, I'm like, Kevin loves this shit. Not in a disparaging way. I mean, that sounded disparaging, but you know what I mean. I meant that genuinely. It's like he's got to be into this. So last night, as of this recording, I have beaten the game, and it's fine. It's totally fine. That's how I feel about it. I'm not even going to do my usual thing of saying it's oh fucking K, although I could. It's fine. It did some things that are really cool. It also does some things that are pretty poor. So I think overall, it just works out to being fine. I think the best way I can say it, Steve, is that if this were just another PS1 RPG, like let's say Wild Arms or Ark the Lad or any of the, just standard PS1 RPGs you can find out there, I would probably put Sea of Stars in league with those.
I guess I haven't played enough PS1 RPGs to really agree or disagree with you there. As for me, I also finished the Sea of Stars game last night, and I spent way longer than I feel like I should for reasons I can't discuss in a spoiler-free discussion. So that's that.
Those reasons are fishing, are they not?
Those reasons are fishing.
Oh, I love the fishing, you guys. You know what's great about the fishing in this game? We have nice designated fishing areas, so we're not doing the nonsense what Breath of Fire does, where we hope that fish are hopping around somewhere and then we go fishing. We have a clear indicator of what can be fished in all those spots. You got the signs, and the signs don't lie to you. There's no like secret third extra fish that's ever hiding in these spots. You can fillet all these fish to make all the recipes and things. So, there's a use for these things beyond, let's go fishing. And much like the battles in this game, you can even employ timed hits when the fish jump in the air at a certain point to make them dizzy for a few seconds. So, yeah, this is the part where I would turn the key if we were a radio show and balloons would drop from the ceiling. Yay, we have great JRPG fishing.
You know what I like about it is that it's bullshit free. You just get to walk up there and start fishing. You don't have to go buy a rod. You don't have to get any stupid bait or anything like that. You can just go up there and start fishing. The fishing is made such a chore sometimes in JRPGs, and I can't stand it. It's just like, just let me fucking fish, man. And this game lets you do that, and it's fun. And the fishing jingle when you get a catch, probably my favorite song of the game. Like, straight up.
Ooh.
The fishing does get a little too easy later on when you improve your gear, like almost trivially easy, like things just stops really struggling against you. Like, okay, I know you're supposed to be fighting against me, but you're really just slowly being reeled in. Like, okay, I get it. You were supposed to be harder, but I got the good shit now. So we're just going to sit right here until I catch you. But no, this is some solid JRPG fishing. Would fish here again, except I don't have to anymore. I got the trophy, by the way.
What do you have to do for getting all the fish?
All the fish, well, at least once, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of things to say about this game. I'm not even sure where to start. Maybe I should start here because I need to get it off my chest. Garl, homeboy. Just put on an eye patch, dog. Like, it's fine. You don't have to have this giant, we get it, right? Like, you just put on the eye patch, man. You'll look a lot cooler. Like, I don't know. Maybe that just wasn't his style, but I was just waiting for it. Come on.
Yeah, but then he'd be, probably be mistaken for one of the pirates, and
I guess there is pirates in this game, Kevin, but like, come on.
He's definitely the least looking intimidating looking character. So, at least a giant scar over his eyeball maybe gives him a little street cred.
Yeah, I guess so. It is kind of badass that you're just like letting it fly. You're not covering it up, huh?
Other than that, he's just kind of this like chunky guy that likes to, make cookies on a campfire. He's got to impose himself a little bit.
It feels like he's hitting you with the pot because you interrupted his cooking, not because like he really wants to fight. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm working.
I just love that his healing is throwing apples and sandwiches at you.
It's really good. It's very, very good. I like any game that does that.
He's just rooting around the bag. He's like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. He never seems to run out because, we just can't be having that.
Nah.
I will say, let me just, at the beginning here of the game, I would say like the first 2 hours, I was a bit put off because it feels like Whiplash, guys. They're throwing everything at you. We're talking about like timelines of the universe, like right off the bat. Solstice Warriors, Fleshmanster, Elden Mist, Dweller of Strife, Wraith Island, Great Eagle, a World Eater. Like they're saying all these things at you within like the first hour of the game. You're like, whoa, like hold the fuck on. And like all of these things they mentioned are in colored text, like it's a Zelda game. They really want you to pay attention that they said that.
You know what else did that? Sorry.
No, it's just I guess it's not bad in theory to have that kind of lore and like introduce you to it quickly, but I don't know, Kevin, to me it felt very sudden. It's like, hold on a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see where you're coming from for sure. I think I see all this stuff just with the understanding that the more I progress through the story, I'm going to see what they're talking about. And you definitely do. All of those phrases that you just dumped out as you play, you see those things. You get an understanding of what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just not sure it had to be front loaded, Steve.
I don't know. I'm just remembering the same thing happening in Golden Sun, and they don't even wait for you to leave the first town for it to happen. Remember, we go to the Soul Sanctum, is like, I am the wise one. Here is all the shit you're going to need to know for 2 whole ass games. Grab your pad and paper.
That was also, well, 2 things. 1, that was 2001, so more forgivable. 2, that game was well written. And so,
yeah.
I don't know. Do we want to go right to the elephant in the room right away? Like, why?
Which one?
The main reason why I don't think this game falls way down to just fine. It is almost fatally flawed how poorly this game is written. I think just beat to beat dialogue. I'm not even talking plot. I'm just talking like characters speaking is honestly kind of bad. And I don't even mean it's like plain like a SNES RPG where it's just very matter of fact or whatever, or even predictable. I mean, I
think the best way to get your point across is to read verbatim exactly how you phrased an example exchange in this game, because you hit the nail on the head 100%.
Okay, basically, I literally wrote this in the notes. Garl carries every single conversation single-handedly. Valerie, ellipses, Zale, ha ha ha. That's literally everything. Garl steps up to the plate. He's talking to whatever they need to talk to, and the other two just kind of sit around and mumble or ellipses or ha ha, and then that's it. And it's like, bro, Kevin, I know. Look, you love the game. You gotta admit that. I mean, you just did.
I think even for the most part, like all of the criticisms that you've told me about the game, put in the notes. I think they're probably mostly a matter of opinion. I can totally see where you're coming from with all of these things. And yeah, certainly when you wrote the dialogue out like that, immediately recognizable, like numerous times, it goes almost exactly like that, but that's never been a critique or something that's bothered me playing. Not the way any of the dialogue is handled or the story itself. So I'm definitely not saying what you're saying is invalid, but I think, for me, it's just, it's been completely serviceable. And I think overall, I do like the story and the tone that story is able to like set around the game.
I think that's fair. Like, people like to shit on Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. That's a game I like. And I would say that game is very much the same way. It's obviously, now again, this is like 30 years ago, so it has more of an excuse. But, the dialogue in that game is not memorable at all. It's often kind of samey, and it doesn't matter because you're kind of into the events. So I get what you're saying. That can be a thing. But I don't know. In a game like this, I think I wanted more than that, Steve.
I'm still a bit put off where they made it look like picking between Zale or Valor was this fairly big deal at the beginning, that, oh, one of these is going to be your main character. Neither one of them was really our main character. They just kind of ellipsed and ha 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 most of the way while things happened around them, at least after they left the Soul Sanctum. I mean, the Eclipse School of magical learning, or whatever the hell that was at the beginning.
The Eclipse School. where Common gets to teach you, Shaman Common gets to teach you stuff about, nobody knows the rapper Common, do they? Damn. I think this joke is falling flat. He looks like Common, everybody. Anyway, Common, Steve, in John Wick 2, Common was the black dude who's fighting John Wick and falling down the stairs and shit. That's Common.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It basically looked like him. I knew there was a link somewhere.
Well, I want to interject, and because we gave you your chance to critique, I want to pry it away from you for a moment and rant and rave again a bit. So let's talk about the battle. Let's talk about the battle system, because I feel like that's a very hard part to critique. Every encounter feels like it's meaningful every time you're fighting an enemy to me. There's so many moving parts going on in that battle systems and little nuances to it, and nothing feels like it was unnecessarily put in there for the sake of putting it in, and everything feels like they all elegantly work very well together. I was curious when I started, is there going to be a point where, I start feeling fatigue from this battle? Not at all yet, and I'm confident that's not going to happen, because they keep it fresh enough. Also, I need to shout out, they've got the shared XP system, so even if you're not using party members for a few hours, if you completely neglect them, which you shouldn't, everybody gains XP at the same rate. So when you level up, everybody levels up. So you don't wind up just favoring certain characters because they're getting over leveled over your other ones. And the fact that you can swap out those characters at any time and you don't get a turn penalty is fantastic. I've occasionally talk about my idea of eat your peas and carrots game design. And this game to me feels like they were purposefully getting rid of that. There's no reason to have a penalty and force you not to be able to swap out your characters. So I think it's great. What about you, Steve? Did you back me up on this?
I am mostly going to back you up on this, because let's be honest, they stole most of the battle system from Chrono Trigger. And a while ago, in another time and space, I played another RPG from Zeboyd, who made Cthulhu Saves Christmas. We all know how much I love that game.
Loved.
Yeah, I love that game. But so fucking much, you guys. But they also made Cosmic Star Heroine, which also tried to do some of this, but misunderstood why anyone liked anything Chrono Trigger was doing. What no one addresses about that game is that there's no battle screen. They just use this whatever scenery we're in, and you fight within that. And there's been a lot of fun scenarios, including one that you may or may not be close to, Kevin. I'm not too sure. What I don't like too much is that it's still turn-based, which means everyone's kind of just still kind of stationary, even though we're hanging around the screens. Okay, you can use different moves like Girl's Toss to throw an enemy closer to other guys, have other area of effect moves go okay, but it's not like, again, Chrono Trigger was like where they might be shuffling around themselves and you waiting for an opportunity. That just doesn't happen because you're literally taking turns. I do like the combo, the where you can break attacks with the different symbols and things. That I liked a lot.
Well, I mean, I hate to just compare everything to Octopath 2, which I think we're going to do invariably here because that's our favorite RPG of the year and it's not going to change. But obviously that's the calling card of that game too. It's not nearly as elegant as Octopath 2. I do like the battle system in Sea of Stars, though, because when we played the demo, I think I raised the point that I was worried that every battle would feel like a chore. Like too much. A large part of the reason why I don't like Paper Mario games and they get really boring is because every battle is a chore. There's no easy ones. You got to time every fucking press. You got to pull back on the stick and flick it to do the hammer every time. And I get tired of that shit so fast. Really, really fast. Plus the pacing is so glacial in that game that it just doesn't feel good. Sea of Stars is not that. It's a lot snappier than that, thank God. And I feel like the actions are actually meaningful in terms of extra damage. And I think that's also my problem with like Paper Mario is that like, okay, if you just do the hammer, you can do 7 points of damage. If you do it really correctly, you can do 8. And it's like, well, that doesn't feel very good, In Sea of Stars, it does feel really good. I think you get a significant boost for doing that stuff, like Mario and Luigi, right? So I really do enjoy that aspect of it.
Sorry, real quick. One thing I didn't like about that is that how a good chunk of the moves, especially ones you see later, they kind of make you guess the timing. Like some you can deduce on your own fairly easily, but other ones like they kind of make you guess and some even have more than one, like at different intervals of the same attack. I discovered that.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be contrarian. I think that's a good thing. I think it would get a little bit stale if that timing was always consistent start to end of the game with those enemies. And usually when you get into an area, there's enough consistency with those enemies for a while. That it kind of gives you an opportunity to learn that timing by the time you're at the end of that area.
I hate to be a total centrist here. I see both sides. I hear both of you on this. Honestly, I get the pros and cons of each. I'm indifferent either way. Honestly, it's fine if I don't totally know. It is a little frustrating sometimes, but yeah, it does keep it from being boring. What I think I don't like is sometimes the animations just don't make it very clear. I know Kevin hasn't been there yet. Steve, there's a grenade attack that a character can do later. And the timing on that was never clear to me. Right? Was it to you? Because it wasn't to me. And it's pretty devastating if it doesn't work.
It's like right before it blows, but good luck getting that because it kind of sits there for a second after it lands.
It's a spell you can do. That's all I can say. It's a spell. It's not a regular attack. Anyway, I don't want to say anything more than that. I couldn't get the timing down on that one. But I will push back, Kevin, and say that I think JRPG battles do rely on some stuff being easy. You should sometimes be able to just go in there and hit auto battle and clear something. Now, this isn't that kind of game because it doesn't have random battles. So like there's really nothing in the game where you can go into and be like, oh, I'm just going to like, here's an area I already been to. I'm going to clear these guys in like 2 seconds. Like, I guess you can. Maybe I just didn't do enough exploring. So maybe this isn't that type of game. But I think you understand what I mean. I think it's okay when you're playing Dragon Quest and you just have like some easy battles and shit. And then you get to other areas. It's like, wait, I got to think about these. I kind of like when it has both. Sea of Stars only has the one kind.
Yeah, I think when you say it's not that kind of game, you're right. There's definitely been no time where I've revisited an area either and just plowed through it because I really haven't revisited any areas unless you're kind of directed to via the story.
One thing I also didn't like, God, I did not like the sense of humor in The Messenger, and that returns full force here with that pirate who's being so meta about like RPGs and shit like that. I'm sorry, just shut up. It's just a personal thing. I don't want to hear it. It's not funny. I get it.
Okay, what about when you go to do the arm wrestling and the pirate, the skinny little pirate busts out with the like massive flex? You didn't get a smile out of that?
No, that was great. I liked it.
I had just as fun with that as I did back in February when I played the demo. Sorry.
February? It wasn't that long ago.
It's been whenever the Nintendo Direct told us to play the Sea of Stars demo. That
was the summer, brah. It was not in fucking February. It has.
I think it might have been earlier this year.
February?
I think that was pre Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh my fucking God. Are you serious? Was it really that long ago?
I don't know for sure, though.
Oh, man. Time is just... I don't even know what right now. Holy shit.
You know what? Let's fight. Let's fucking get down to it and let's fight.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I want to talk about graphics, and I want to pose this in the frame of the question: how does this stack up against HD 2D? And I'm going first. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I need to preemptively say, in and I shouldn't be like this because in no way, shape, or form is this a critique against HD 2D. I've spoke probably at length in the past about why I did not finish Octopath Traveler despite getting like 45 hours into it. Certainly the graphics was not the issue. I was totally in love with the way that game looked when they first showed it off the very, very first time. I like Sea of Stars definitively better. First of all, the lighting is fucking crazy, and people talk about the lighting in HD 2D. I genuinely think the lighting is much better here for multiple reasons. When you're changing time of day, it's incredible how seamless that is, and like it always looks good. The shadows is crazy. The way that they like actually have shadows just like next to insignificant light sources. Everything just looks elegant. And I think with HD 2D, it's a little bit harder to be flexible with that style because it's very distinct. I feel like Sea of Stars has a lot more room to breathe. It's really bright and colorful when it wants to be. It's kind of like dark and somber and moody when it wants to be. I honestly don't think that I can think of anything in the last 20 years that I like the style of so much. When I go back to my favorite graphics, I always want to say Golden Sun when I talk just purely about aesthetically how a game looks. And this is up there with that. I also like they didn't restrict the graphics or the technology they're using to try and match what they're trying to take inspiration from. When they want to, they go absolutely hog wild, and they still respect the style of what they're doing, right? There's like the summon attacks or whatever they call, when you fill up your rainbow meter, that shit looks crazy. And also I got Steve, the animated cutscenes, like how fucking good are those?
They are very nice.
That's all you're going to give the guy? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Look, Sabotage has a very nice art team. I just wish they would, hire some fucking writers. Who said that?
So go ahead. Fine. You guys suck HD 2D's dick.
I will, because everything you just said, it does. Octopath 2 does better. Everything. Shadows. Oh my God, Steve. The shadows in Octopath 2. I think we talked literally earlier this year on our post-game show so much about just those.
Shadows. Holy shit.
Incredible. Kevin, you're just... I don't know what to say here. It's not even close for me. And as far as like stylistically looking different, like bright when it needs to be or dank when it needs to be, Octopath is just kind of a somber kind of looking game. That's just the way it looks. Other HD 2D games like the upcoming Dragon Quest 3 or even Live A Live has a lot more variety in there. If you were to look at those, I think it doesn't always do that heavy vignetting and like, almost sepia toned kind of like very like serious vibe like Octopath. I mean, I think there's some room to grow there.
it's still got a standardized look to it. I think and I know what you're saying. Yeah, playing the live demo, which I did not play the full game, but I know what you're getting at. I think that there's still a certain element of restriction that I'm not finding here by HD2D.
I don't totally disagree with you. I guess I just think that what those games do is just, and by the way, this is not a knock on Sea of Stars. I mean, I think Sea of Stars looks pretty good. They don't really take any shortcuts. That's the thing I really like when indies do 2D games. They really do that shit for real. It's not a bunch of tweening and a bunch of like cheating. Yeah, you can see where they cheated, quote unquote, cheated and did some like 3D stuff to do like lighting or whatever, or like a couple of different effects. I mean, that's fine. But like, I think you'll agree with me. This feels like as I said up front, this feels like a PS1 RPG. A lot of people are saying like the comps here are like Chrono Trigger and shit. I really feel like this is like a game from like 1997, not 1993, like in spirit. I definitely don't feel like it's very 16-bit.
I feel like in spirit is the wrong way to phrase that, because I know what you're saying, but I feel that they're trying to like channel the 16-bit era with the style. And I know graphical fidelity is the wrong way. Like this is obviously so much more complex than what you could do with like a Super Nintendo RPG that it's hard to compare. But I think that's still what they're trying to channel aesthetically, but not graphically.
Yeah, but I think the entire vibe of the game, including those animated cutscenes you mentioned, like those are things that you're going to pull off on a CD-ROM. Yes, there are 16-bit CD-ROM systems like a Sega CD or a Turbo CD, of course. But I don't know. To me, this was like more... Oh, God, I can't even remember the name of it. Is it Legend of Mana that's on PS1? It kind of felt like I was playing something like that.
I can see. I think Alundra is a good comparison here.
That's a very good comp. Or I was going to say Wild Arms, but there's a lot of 3D elements in that, including the battle system, so that doesn't really work. But yeah, Suikoden, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I'm playing a game like that. Vandal Hearts? Like, it feels like first half of the PS1's lifetime to me. But maybe that's just me. Grandia, minus the 3D, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just biased because I feel like they are kind of wearing their inspiration on their sleeve, and maybe that's a good segue to your other point I want to argue with a little bit here.
Okay, we can do that. But just to top that off, I think the battle system being so much like Chrono Trigger, I think gives a lot of 16-bitness. In my opinion, I feel, because I don't really feel like any other game after that really kind of does that. It's pretty unique unto that game. So it
thanks,
gives that
because I was
sorry. No, say it.
No, okay, thank you, because I was really, really, really waiting for you to come in and say, well, actually, there were a number of games on the PS1 that borrowed heavily from the Chrono Trigger battle system, including this, and the other thing.
There's games that borrow from Chrono Trigger, but not in the battle system. And as Kevin alluded to, that's kind of what I want to talk about next. And we've talked about it, here and there, but I want to put like a fine stamp on it. There's been a lot of comparisons made of Sea of Stars to Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG for various reasons. And I feel like Sea of Stars isn't really like either of those games, even in battle system. It doesn't play like Chrono Trigger, as Steve alluded to. There's a lot more real-time elements in Chrono Trigger. This is purely turn-based, which is fine, but it's markedly different. And yes, it's an RPG that takes the lessons of games before it, Sea of Stars, but that's something every single RPG in history does. I don't feel like Sea of Stars is trying to ape one game or another, just like I don't feel like Octopath is trying to be any particular game. It's just being the thing that it is, inspired by whatever. That's also what I feel like Sea of Stars is doing. Like, and I know I keep making the comparison, but if Sea of Stars were actually a PS1 game, let's say this game literally did come out in like 1996, would we be saying that it's like this game or that other game? Would we be saying it's like Chrono Trigger or whatnot? Because I actually don't think we would. We would just say, oh, that was a game of its time, and it's just doing things that games of its time did. Like, I don't really feel like Sea of Stars is anything like Golden Sun. I understand that's like another comp both of you have made. I don't see it. Like I feel like this is Kevin. I just feel like this is a strictly 2023 connotation. I don't think we would say this a long time ago.
I agree with you. I don't think I have made the direct comparison with Golden Sun, and I for the most part I agree with you. I think like the comparisons you can make with Golden Sun could be retrofitted with a lot of other comparisons. You could say that this game is like Illusion of Gaia, but I do think specifically with Mario RPG, and not because of the timed hits, there have been multiple times playing this where I just feel like the vibe, kind of like story scenario wise, has given me very, very distinct Mario RPG vibes where I feel like it's undeniable. So a couple of examples, there was the mole guy fairly on early in the game that was like terrorizing the town, and he had his big monster in the mines underneath. And then when you met him and fought his monster, and kind of just the way that the dialogue was handled in that scenario, that seemed very Mario RPG to me, just the scenario itself. Again, I don't want to get into spoilers, but I feel like I'm talking all fairly early game stuff. The pirate, the evil pirate guy that you fought on the top of the cliff, and he back dives off of the cliff. I feel like that was kind of reminiscent of like later game Mario RPG and some of the bosses that you would fight. I have a hard time drawing the line, saying I'm not seeing the inspiration directly to Mario RPG scenario wise.
Okay. I don't know, maybe just because this is the way I feel about Mario RPG, so I'm just kind of quick to dismiss it. But like, yeah, I don't know, Steve. I kind of just feel like Sea of Stars is just being Sea of Stars.
Okay, ignoring so many other things that I can't talk about right now. I feel like I'm having a bit of a chicken boo moment here. Zale is tan Isaac. How am I the only one that sees that Zale is tan fucking Isaac?
Okay.
And he's literally throwing a golden sun at his enemies, and he's got a ring that blows wind, and he's got another thing that grabs onto other shit, and he's pushing blocks around and hopping on other things from going around, and it might as well make a little boom, boom, boom sound that he might as fucking well. And I don't even mean any of this as a bad thing. It's just that when you have that, and you have the other guy early on, when you're up in the mountains and you find the guy going, mountains are nice, and you're supposed to harass him for money or whatever he gives you, like you do in Chrono Trigger. Yes, everyone's going to start drawing comparisons to the things they drew inspiration from. And I don't even mean any of it as a bad thing, because as you said, yes, they do put some of their own effort into this, unlike the crap at Kemco, where they would have done like an ocean of stars, and where it would have been the worst pieces of shit in the world. And don't worry, Andre, I'm not about to go online and start a movement to start calling these JRPGs with some effort in them Chrono Suns, because why the fuck would I start doing that?
Now, Steve, back me up on my Mario RPG point, please, because you have to have seen what I've seen.
I mean, kinda. I mean, I found it weird.
I fucking argue with him for one thing, and he just writes me off like a piece of trash.
I'm not writing you off, because I found it weird as fuck that we found a town of moles like right that mine shit like right away. and then I
feel like a hooker.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to remind you that we played Sea of Stars for you, so
I was gonna play Sea of Stars anyway. Maybe not right away, but play it. I mean, I put down Armored Core 6 for this. I finally got back to that last night. I mean,
yeah. Do you know how much spoopy month I've delayed for this, Kevin?
Don't lay this on my feet.
Yeah, see. By the way, if they weren't like RPGs and they didn't take forever, I would love for us to do a deep dive into that Kemco shit. But I just don't want to play those games for that long. I know, but I don't want to actually sit there for 40 hours each and like play them. So I obviously we can't.
They come in packs of 3 for a reason, Andre.
Oh man, I guess I just as we get to wrapping up here, I guess there was just a lot of little things for me. And most of them I already said. The humor falls kind of flat for me. The dialogue, while not being good in traditional cutscenes, also just makes other stuff kind of useless, like the campfire interactions. If the game is just not written well, I don't really want to do those either. You know? Or like, you know what really bothered me, which illustrates this? Like, all the villagers are named Villager. That is just like, come on, man. There was a guy who was like, I don't know, I went to some other village and he was like, thanks for your help earlier. But his name was Villager. So I'm like, okay, bro, I don't know what I did for you before, but thanks, I guess. You know, like, there's also a certain moment, and I know we've all been here, but I won't spoil. Let's just say there's a certain moment where that involves all the villagers of a particular town. And they're all banding together and they're talking about what to do. But all of them are named Villager. Mm-hmm. And they all have these different opinions on things. But I would love to have just a little personality and know who's talking. But we can't have that. It's just very, I don't know, man. It missed opportunity.
Speaking of missed opportunities and the campfire you just brought up, I was looking forward to the whole Teek's fireside story reading thing from the demo, because they give you the one tease in the demo about the ghost pirate ship. I'm like, oh man, there must be all sorts of neat bobs and bits hidden throughout this of things that we could discover throughout the story about whatever. And it's all just it's all just supplemental material to shit they should be telling you about as the game goes along.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like it's there just to give you more flavor text to the world, which, like, it's cool to present some stuff that way, but if everything is presented that way, it's kind of, you know.
Sea of stars, more like sea of missed opportunities.
Oh,
wow, that's the best
God.
You could do. Wow, that wasn't even...
Hey, apparently Sea of Stars was the best Sabotage could do, okay?
Wow, well, I mean, probably... But that's also like the most I mean, shit, I haven't even said anything at backhanded.
I maintain these critiques are subjective. And if you think that Sea of Stars looks good, you will probably like it. You should play it.
You what? I liked Sea of Stars. I want to reiterate that. I don't want it to sound like I didn't. It's fine. And I meant that. I wasn't just being sarcastic. It's a fine RPG. All right, I think that's about it. Kevin, you got anything left to say here? Any last tidbit?
I have a secret to take us out on, and I've avoided telling you guys this for years. I don't tell anybody this. I have never finished Chrono Trigger. I have played through the bulk of Chrono Trigger. I have never played all the way through it. I know it's like a dirty little secret hiding in my closet. And I know I should. I'm always like, okay. And when I do someday, I will start from the beginning and not play a like dusty old save file, but I haven't finished. I know it's bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something. I don't even
know. When I've played it, I quite enjoyed it. I just, for whatever reason, it just, one day I stopped playing it and never went back.
No one's asking you to find all 15 endings, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. That will be all. Steve, how do you think we should proceed from here? Should we keep him on the show? I'm not sure if he hasn't even played Chrono Trigger, I'm not sure how we can proceed.
Well, he's definitely not going into this shower today.
Oh man. Okay. Let's just take it. Let's just take a break. Okay. Just turn on the music real quick right here. Yeah. Let's just take a break and we'll decide. We'll talk about it more during the break. Okay? I just don't want him to overhear us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. We'll be right back, everybody.
Fine time.
From Jason Schreier on Twitter, Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite and Unreal Engine, is laying off a whopping 16% of employees, or around 900 people, sources tell Bloomberg News. More to come. The more to come was a follow-up tweet that said this. This morning, rumors were flying as Epic disabled Slack for employees ahead of the news. Laid-off Epic employees will receive 6 months severance and health benefits. An all-hands meeting is happening shortly. Story being updated as I learned more. Jason Schreier then learned more, and then he tweeted this. Epic is also divesting from 2 previous acquisitions, sources say. It is selling the music site Bandcamp to the marketer Songtrader and spinning out marketing company Super Awesome to operate independently. Pitchfork, the music site, did a little follow-up on Bandcamp and found out this. Asked whether artist revenue shares, user experience, or the editorial platform Bandcamp Daily would be affected by the acquisition, Songtrader declined to comment. Mediatonic, the studio behind Fall Guys that was acquired by Epic Games, was reportedly hit very hard in the layoffs just 2 years after acquisition. A now deleted screenshot leaked from the Mediatonic offices that showed their Mediatonic logo blocks in their office with the letters rearranged to spell decimation. Tweets from now former Epic and Mediatonic employees include the following. The reality of being laid off by Epic while being treated for skin cancer has hit me and woken me from a not sound sleep, and I don't think there are words for how furious I am at the company. The leadership, their greed, all of it. Steph Scribbles tweets, unfortunately, I'm one of the unlucky people affected by the Epic layoffs today. If anyone is looking for an experienced art lead or generalist, ideally in stylized games, please give me a shout. Follow-up tweet. Additionally, I am giving birth in 1 week, so the timing could not have been worse. Please keep this in mind when reaching out for work. I won't be available straight away. CEO Tim Sweeney says the layoffs will enable Epic to, quote, get to the other side of profitability and become a leading metaverse company. He continues, for a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn, investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators, Sweeney said. I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that this was unrealistic. He continues, we've been taking steps to reduce our legal expenses, but are continuing the fight against Apple and Google distribution monopolies and taxes, so the metaverse can thrive and bring opportunity to Epic and all other developers. The day before these layoffs were announced, Epic formally filed an appeal in its case against Apple with the U.S. Supreme Court. Also, the same day as these layoffs, Epic announced a price hike on V-Bucks, their premium currency in Fortnite. I'm sorry to just read all that stuff nakedly up front, because that's usually not how we operate. We call the segment Big Questions because we bring in the news and then we peanut gallery, we hot take on it or whatever. But I'm really not in the fucking mood this time. This is the third big deal in a row where I have to come on here and discuss capitalism swallowing artists whole at a rate that we've never seen before. At some point, I ran out of words. I think, Steve, I ran out of words last week when we were talking about Unity. I had already kind of ran out of words when we were talking about Embracer Group. I don't know what else to say. Like, people think the music business is bad and full of sharks and bullshit. Like, I feel like the video game industry right now is the absolute worst. I have no idea why anybody would ever want to be involved with this, or at least be involved with any big company for any reason. Or sell yourselves to them, because this will just happen to you, Mediatonic. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that like it's crazy out there right now. I don't even know what to say. I just hate it. If you guys got anything to say, go ahead. Kevin, I mean, you weren't with us. You didn't really talk about the previous stuff, but
yeah, for this one, obviously there's some personal bias getting introduced here, but the metaverse pimping really feels like the sting. I get in some cases that layoffs do happen. It always sucks. But just that messaging really feels like a real fuck you. It comes off as tone deaf and even malicious to some degree by relying on we need to pursue the metaverse, and that's why this is happening. And again, that's biased because I don't like the idea or the concept of the metaverse, but it just feels malicious a little bit.
I mean, I'll go farther. I'll say it is malicious. I will absolutely say it is, Steve.
Sorry, I'm just floored from the other 2 times we did this story already. And what always gets me is that everyone, acts like nothing's really going on when this sort of thing is going on. Like last week, I had a sidebar with our PokePal friends when a tweet from them came up for what would normally seem innocuous. It was Fall Guys collaboration with Disney's Toy Story. Now, any other time, like, oh, okay, it's crossing over with a thing, ha ha ha. But you look at this. This was like a day after this news broke. So you look at this happening. There's a writer's strike going on right now. Like this is some real cynical, slimy shit going on with these companies. I don't like it.
How is it sustainable? You're licensing every fucking character in the book. How many times have I said that I think it's so bizarre that like Fall Guys or Fortnite or whatever is okay, here's Goku. Here's Guile from Street Fighter. Here's that costs a lot of money. Here's Thanos. Here's like, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know who the fuck is in the game. I'm sure if you could just name it, it's in the game.
It's been a weird couple of years with that.
So to go off script a little bit here, if we want a big question, holistically, what is the answer as a consumer for this to be able to support art and avoid the effects of capitalism, that keep driving it into the ground? Because I don't think it's feasible as a consumer to be, to say I'm just going to like ethically consume these things and not engage these companies because it's infiltrated everything to some degree. So I'm not expecting it because there's no good answer for this. But what do you do with this as a consumer?
Nothing. You just buy the games you want to play and just play on. I really don't think there's anything else to be done because like. What are you going to do? Okay, I'm not going to play games on Unreal Engine anymore. Ha ha ha. Good luck with that, right? Bullshit, you're not. I mean, seriously.
No, in 5 years, you might not.
Yeah. Well, we won't be playing anything on Unity, I'll tell you that much. I'm sorry to be such a downer at it to start the segment. When all this stuff is going down over the I guess, last weekend now, all I can do is shake my head. It's just like, I cannot believe we have to talk about this again. And in truth, we're really not, because what are we going to say? We're just kind of sitting here in disbelief. But I just wanted to say that stuff out loud.
I do wonder, and this is extending well beyond video games. I genuinely feel, just kind of given the sense of like culture up here in 2023, if something like Occupy Wall Street were to happen in modern day, I feel like that would gain traction and catch fire in a way like it never did. It was a news story before, and I feel like that this isn't just video games that we're having this problem with.
It's funny you mentioned Occupy Wall Street. There's a synth pop artist I like. His name is Penguin Prison. His very first single, it was released in 2011. It was called Don't Fuck With My Money, funnily enough. Kind of a good title, right? It was an Occupy Wall Street video. It was just video out there. And this is 2011, so it was high time for that. And I looked at that video again recently. It's like, this feels like it happened 50 years ago.
Mhm.
And it didn't. You know, it's just, I guess it's just funny that you say that, because I was thinking the same thing. If that were to happen today, I think it would be 10 times bigger. And it was already big at that time. It wasn't just a small little thing people were doing. That was real.
You know what I think would happen this time too? I honestly think that people from both sides of the aisle would get on board with that. Where I live is it's the most conservative part of Canada, I would say. And I think if something exactly like Occupy Wall Street happened, that the majority of like rural Albertans would get on board with that. I don't think this would be like a politically divisive issue, because everybody is kind of tired of getting fucked in the ass.
Yep. I totally agree. I think something like that is, like I said, if we were feeling it back then, and that was coming out of that recession and everything, you know what I mean? When things were just starting to stabilize. Jesus Christ. You're right. You're absolutely right.
This got heavy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to. I couldn't ignore it. I wanted to actually not talk about it at all. But then I was like, you know what? I found a way to talk about it, and it's like this. So I'm sorry.
We needed to.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Steve, PlatinumGames announced that Hideki Kamiya is leaving the company on October 12th. Now, as of this recording, it is not October 12th, but they announced this like a week ago, so I don't know why they announced like, hey, he's leaving he gave us 3-week notice.
Yeah, like we were supposed to be real shocked that this was happening. But are we going to be really shocked, though? Were you shocked, Andre?
I mean, we speculated on this about 9-ish months ago when we did our Bayonetta 3 post-game show. Because we said, in between Bayonetta 3 being kind of a dud, Babylon's Fall, LOL, and the CEO saying that they needed to move away from single-player games for core players and more towards live services or that, Kamiya leaving was the inevitable result, I think. He absolutely should leave. I mean, but this also means, Steve, that third superhero / Sentai game won't be made. Remember he teased that like a few years ago?
Fuck. Yeah. Now that, yeah.
Yeah, remember that shit? There's Beautiful Joe, there's Wonderful 101, and now whatever that was. He'll probably make it anyway because fuck them. But, you know.
Like right before the end of the year, we're going to be talking about that Kickstarter. Just watch.
I'll kickstart it. Anyway, I don't know. You got anything insightful to say about this? Because it's just weird news. But you mean not surprising?
Oh, you mean other than we fucking told you so and Bayonetta 3 shouldn't have won Action Game of the Year? No.
Pathetic. Fucking pathetic. I forgot that it won Action Game of the Year. Now I'm mad all over again.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. You want to update? We talked about Unity earlier. By the way, actually, before I do this, Kevin, you didn't get to join us last time when we talked about the Unity mess. What was your takeaway from all that bullshit, basically, with the way it's gone down?
It was, I mean, yeah, I think it's hard not to just echo what we were just talking about. It's just, yeah, I think it was an interesting example because I think Unity went about 4 steps too far. And as we're about to discuss, there's no recovering. I don't think from where they went at that point, there was any way out of it. But I think what they did was like worst case scenario trying to get out of it.
Yeah. So I think me and Steve said last time that they're not going to take away the fees. They will severely backpedal, but they won't go away.
Mm-hmm. I think that was our guess. Yes.
And that is exactly what they did. So basically they backpedaled a lot. And you know what fucking always pisses me off, guys, is when they're like, we needed to listen to the community more and blah, blah, blah. It's like, motherfuckers. There's no way this should have happened. You should have known people would react this way. How could you have your head that far up your ass? Like, that's just an unbelievable thing to say. And I don't think it's like that's just PR. I think they just literally do not talk to people. I think all the venture capitalists had taken over just at the top. It's like, well, this is how we can make more money. Okay, let's do it.
Andre, do you have any idea how hard it is to climb down from a giant pile of money? That shit's really steep.
I don't know. I have seen DuckTales a few times. I mean, when he does dive into that pool of gold coins, he
swims pretty effortlessly, though. I would drown the fuck immediately.
I mean, he is a duck, though. I mean, they are really built for swimming.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you guys see that thing recently? It made the rounds on Blue Sky where they're talking. It's a DuckTales comic or something like that, and it's like, I'm going duck hunting or something like that, and it's like Daffy and whatever duck, the girl duck. It's like, wait, not domesticated ducks like us. I mean, like real ducks.
Yeah, that makes the rounds every so often, and it's so fucked up.
That is so fucking weird. So they backpedaled on a lot of their policies, including, I'll just read a few of them. The Unity personal plan will remain free and no games built on it will incur a fee. So I think that means like the current version of Unity and all the games that are on it and on that version of Unity in the future, none of those will incur fees. So Cult of the Lamb or any of the other shit, Genshin Impact or like whatever, not all those are fine. Any of the hundreds of mobile games that use it, it seems like they'll be fine.
But the way I understood personal plan is so that when they talked about moving the cap from 100 to 200,000, you can only use the personal plan now if you make less than $200,000 on the game, correct?
Yes, but all current games are still like, I guess let's just start there. I just think that's such a terrible idea, being afraid of success, because like, oh no, I can't be too popular because now I'll start like, I just think that's a shitty way to live. Before we started Fine Time and I was looking for sources for music, I was going to rent them from the site because it was really cheap. But one, the rules for using on a podcast are pretty unclear. And then two, it stated if your podcast gets more than like 10K downloads, then you got to pay this crazy high fee compared to like the small one that you had. I'm like, I don't want to be afraid of us blowing up one day and then I owe like thousands of dollars because we use this music or whatever, and then that's when I made the decision to just buy our own music outright so we own it, which obviously is much more expensive, but at least we don't have to worry about that shit. And I think that's the way to go. With Unity here, yeah, it's just like, oh man, I can't get too popular. Nobody download me too much. And what if you just want to do like a free to play game to just give to people? Now people will feel compelled to charge something. I don't know, man. It's weird. I just don't like it. It doesn't solve the problem at all. It just severely lessens it, I guess. So less people are effective. But again, Kevin, I just can't imagine the people at the top. I don't know what happened up there would be like, well, this is a good idea. This doesn't fix it.
A lot of cocaine through $100 bills, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Steve, I mean, like, this is the same bad, but dressed up, right?
Oh, yeah, we're just putting on a different coat right now, and I think we're headed in the same direction we're headed in last week. There's not going to be a Unity after however much longer of this. There's not going to be new Unity customers once everyone pivots away. Like one of the other policies here was for something I just learned about the other day, Unity long-term support, which is literally the plan you get if you want to run a game as a service. So Genshin Impact, once they figure out like I'm sure it's that the version that exists now would be grandfathered in, but I'm sure if they wanted to make improvements using the next version of that, they would start getting charged that. I am sure they are gone the second they do something else.
They're already planning Genshin Impact 2 for Unreal 5 or some other shit. We already know that. Like there's just no way. Yeah.
That's what makes no sense to me, is where they're saying that they're still going to maintain the same fee structure if you're on previous versions. Like, is there any incentive for anybody under any monetization structure to use the new version whatsoever? Like this is why it seemed like this is even worse than what they originally announced, because now they're saying we're for them, we're grandfathering everything old into the, to stay under the existing terms. You're only going to get fucked if you use our product moving forward. It's so incredibly counterintuitive. I genuinely feel like I'm missing something or confused. It seems like they would have been further ahead, just staying the course with their shitty messaging a couple weeks ago in the first place.
I think so as well. This just doesn't make it better, and it just makes everyone be like, well, I guess I'm still not going to use Unity. I think what they were trying to stop is people delisting at the end of the year. Because, I believe those indie developers, when Cult of the Lamb said that we're just taking this shit off, I believe them. I don't think that's a bluff. And they can afford to do that because they're them, and they can just make a sequel on another engine and have it be fine. But it's just bad. It still fucks the future of Unity. It and their brand is just never recovering from this. So whatever. Jim Ryan is stepping down from PlayStation. Are we ever going to recover from that, guys? LOL.
I have a very real question about this.
Okay.
How much of his retirement is tied to the reception of the PlayStation Portal?
I think he personally seen me cancel my PlayStation Plus membership after that stupid, insane fucking price hike, and then he's like, "I'm going to call it a day."
Oh Kevin's I'm not paying that shit. I'm not. Yeah. Fuck that. He was only there for basically 4 years, so kind of presided over like the late PS4 era and basically over the Rona, if you will, into now, which is kind of a weird tenure, but. I was never a fan of him. I've said it a million times on the show. He should step down. I said that shit as soon as the Microsoft Blizzard bickering started happening with Sony. I'm like, get Jim Ryan has to go. I've been saying that for a year and a half. So here he is.
I don't know.
GTFO.
Get out of here. Yeah. Okay. We're going to be back. We have a couple other things and a game. We haven't played a game in a while. We'll be right back.
Fine time.
All right, we're back. And I want to talk about something because I played the FoamStars beta this past weekend, or rather I should say I attempted to play it and it would not let me. I tried to team up with friend of the show then, and we got into a party, and then neither of us could move our character around the lobby. It does like a Splatoon 3 style like lobby, except you can actually see each other. But you couldn't. We could see each other. We couldn't move. So I kicked him out. I invited him again, and then only he could move, and I couldn't move. I said, "Okay, fuck this. I'm just going to try to queue by myself and see if it'll work." And it didn't work. I just got kicked out of every game. So it's like, okay, I never got to play FoamStars, even though it says I did, but I really didn't. Anyway, I'm still looking forward to it. It still seems kind of cool. However, there was one aspect of the tutorial. By the way, the tutorial is exactly like any Splatoon tutorial. Here's how you move. Here's how you foam it up or whatever. Same shit. But there was something at the end of the tutorial for FoamStars that struck me in a very bad way. And I'm just going to read it. So this whole time, this announcer is talking to you in this very peppy voice. Oh, yeah, get ready to foam. Like he's like way over the top, right? But then at the end, he says this, and I took screenshots. He's like, by the way, what you're about to enter is not some kind of dangerous battle. It's a party. So in this game, when we take down an opponent, we call it a chill. Because when someone's getting too fired up, we gotta help them chill out. So don't get it confused with a kill. This isn't like other games. Foam fighting's about having fun while keeping it courteous. Fuck you! Go fucking suck my cock. How about that? Eat a fucking dick. You know what I can't stand nowadays? This corporate, soulless fucking streamer culture, safe, nicey nice bullshit that thinks that stuff that people think they need to do to get sponsors, or I can't say fuck or else like so and so won't sponsor me or something. Go eat my ass. Eat my fucking ass. Why are you putting
exactly what it is?
Okay, you agree, right? I'm not overreacting to this.
100%. Yeah.
Steve, what did you think? Oh, so you actually saw the video. What did you think when you saw
I watched the video because I couldn't believe that anyone would actually be like, no way, it's that heavy-handed when you were talking to me about this. I did. And holy shit. Okay, let's go back to Splatoon for a second because they don't they don't kill you there either. You get splatted or crushed by a roller. I don't think that's anywhere near as cynical because there is no fun police squid coming out saying, oh, don't say kill, you're getting splatted. just that alone makes it that much different. Also, that aside, the Splatoon tutorial is only 4 minutes. This was 8, and I found that very offensive on its own.
Okay, I don't want to talk about tutorials again. Jesus Christ. You're going to go off on a tangent. I'm glad you guys agree with me.
The chill because you get too fired up is like so incredibly cringy.
That is so soul-sucking. Like, honestly. Okay, I'm glad I'm not overreacting to this and you guys feel this way because that just hit me like, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, man. We know Mario doesn't die and it's not, their wives or whatever. Like, we get it. Or chances or whatever they want to. Like, we know. We just say, oops, I died. We say that in every fucking game. It's just, who cares, man?
Well, that's what Disney did at first, right? In those instruction manuals, you didn't have lives. You had tries.
Yeah, like, okay, fine, but they didn't say, oh, by the way, Mickey can't die because that is against Disney code, so don't say lives, they're tries, whatever. They didn't, like, finger wag at you. Like, fuck off, man. I don't know, something about that. Like I said, I can't stand that kind of culture for 2 reasons. One, it's, like, soul-sucking, and I'm going to be totally honest right here. We used to be on a podcast with a host that wanted us to do that bullshit, and we vetoed that shit real fast. Because we said, no, we're going to be ourselves.
We speak in vague terms about our previous creative endeavor.
No, not right now. I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. Because fuck that shit.
Gloves are off.
Yeah, I don't care. And we said no to that as like a group. We vetoed that shit.
Before we even tried recording, like immediately.
To be fair, it was more of a fuck no.
Yeah, it was a fuck no. So that's the first reason. Number 2, it doesn't work. Look at the top streamers for stuff. Are they nicey nice, squeaky clean, not saying like, oh shit or whatever when they're playing game? No, they say whatever the fuck they want. And they're so successful because they get to be themselves. Oh my God, I cannot believe FoamStars did that. Anyway, okay, I'm done talking about it. I'm just glad you guys agreed with me. I needed to bring it up just in case, like, I was making too much of it, but apparently I wasn't.
Nope, I'm with you.
Okay, so as we promised, we're going to play a game. We still don't have a name for it, but it's a thing where you name as many things as you can in 45 seconds.
Woo!
And I'm running it this time because if you've listened to the show in the past, you may have heard when I was incredibly fucking salty about missing the completely like stumbling over myself on the first party GameCube game question. And I still think about that like 3 or 4 times a week. So I said, I'm not playing this game anymore. Now I run the game. So I'm asking the questions this time.
He's asking the questions. Me and Steve are receiving this time. This is weird. I didn't think I'd be on the receiving end of my own game because, well, now I'm real nervous. I don't think I'm going to do well at this. I don't typically do well at time trivia stuff, which is why I like being the ringleader. But I'll be a good sport here. I will take the 3 to Steve's 17 or whatever these categories end up being.
Look,
but before we get started, go ahead.
No, there was the time where you wanted me to name albums or whatever, and I only got 3, and Kevin got all of them, and I took it in stride, and I'm not bringing it up right now and insisting I need to run the game.
We had Assassin's Creed titles, and what was the other topic for the first?
It's Call of Duty.
Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty?
Yeah, I believe those are it. Yeah. But Steve won the GameCube, and I even forget. Oh, Resident Evil RE Engine games.
Yeah, that one I didn't give a fuck about. That GameCube question, God, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed.
So Kevin, why don't you read the rules for the people? Because I'm an asshole and I forgot to the second time we played it.
Yeah, so first of all, you need to say the full name of the game for it to count. You can't say Mario 1, you got to say Super Mario Brothers. We can't use abbreviations. No PUBG, you got to say PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So Andre says if a subtitle is considered non-essential, the answer will still count. So if you say Metroid Prime 2 Darkness or Metroid Prime 2 instead of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, or Pokemon XD instead of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, I don't know. I feel like I want to run a little bit of a tighter ship on that.
Okay, if you really want to. Like I said, it's subject to judge approval. So
yeah,
I'm pretty loose with it. But I would never ding anybody for not saying Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I feel like that's or Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I feel like that's, come on, I personally.
Metroid Prime 4, where the fuck is it?
That's what it's called. Metroid Prime 4, where the fuck is it? All right, so
that's the game. So we're gonna kick Andre into our small soundproof box. I put some grapes in there for him.
Ooh, nice. Okay, I'll nosh on the grapes, guys.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm going to give Steve his first topic. Steve, in 45 seconds, I want you to give me the titles of Game Boy Color games that also had games that appeared on a console with the same name.
I'm sorry, what the fuck was that?
Game Boy Color games that had a game with the same title on console.
Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but not really. R-Type Deluxe.
It's got to be the same name, though.
Okay, there's like none of those. Donkey Kong Country. Oh well.
Oh boy. All right, so I was thinking more along the lines of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Perfect Dark, Mario Tennis, that kind of stuff.
You could be being kind of esoteric, but I'm sure Andre will pick it up.
Okay. All right. Let's knock on his box.
All right, I'm back. Pretty good grapes. Nice and sweet. Big ones, too.
All right.
Liked it.
All right. Good. I handpicked them specifically for you off the grape tree. Before we kick Steve into that soundproof box, did you toot in there?
No, I did not do that. I did not do that.
Did you leave him some grapes?
Yeah, I left a few. I'm not a total pig.
Okay.
I mean,
you're a considerate opponent. Steve told me my first question was esoteric, so we'll see what you say. But Steve, get in your box.
No, he can say he heard it. He has to get in the box.
Oh, he's just got to leave. Okay.
Yeah. That's
all
okay.
right.
He can sit here and judge over me, preside over me.
Oh no, you'll get this in 2 seconds.
Okay,
Or not. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. All right. So, Andre, get your timer ready. I want you to give me the names of Game Boy Color games that also had games with the same title that appeared on console. Are you running your timer?
No, you got to tell me.
Oh.
Tell me go.
Oh, go.
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to get... Am I going to get any of these? Game & Watch Gallery. I don't think that has equivalent.
It's got to be the same name.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Game Boy Color? I'm not going to get a single one. Oh man, I'm not gonna get this. There's no way. I can't even think. Okay, did that Resident? No, that's Resident Evil Gaiden. Yu-Gi-Oh! No, that wasn't even a thing. I got nothing, bro. That's a toughie. I got nothing.
Steve got one. I honestly thought this was an easy one. I told Steve I was going along like Perfect Dark, Mario Tennis, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk was on Game Boy Color?
Tony Hawk was on Game Boy Color. Daikatana was on Game Boy Color.
Bro, that is a library that is so... I can't. There's no way. Which one did Steve get right?
Steve had Donkey Kong Country.
Okay, Jesus Christ. I forgot they did that because I always think of Donkey Kong Land. Yeah, baby, I tell you what, no way.
At least you got to know the rules better. He's like, I want the same tiles, go. And I'm naming a few deluxes.
I thought
that's where my brain went right away.
That's there's no way. I can't even produce a single one of those. That is not a library I like. So I can't even. I forgot there was a Daikatana. I forgot about Donkey Kong Country. How many are there? Did you count them all up?
No, I didn't search a list.
Okay.
So we could have named real ones and you wouldn't have had them?
I feel like it would have been pretty... Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, yeah. God damn.
Yeah,
that's a toughie.
I'm used to everyone just calling that Ghost Battles, so I wouldn't have thought of that.
It wasn't called that here. It's just called Metal Gear Solid.
I know, but everyone calls it that now in conversation. we don't call it Metal Gear Solid when we talk about the Game Boy game.
Yeah. That's a toughie.
Promise the next one is immediately identifiable. There's no way you will not understand the intent.
I understood the intent. I just
okay.
couldn't get there. That's okay though. That's interesting.
All
okay.
Right. Okay. Now, Steve. Now you get in the box. Go.
Get out of here.
All right, so I have to tell you go after I get the
bro, you gotta tell me to start the timer.
When the question is out, then you know that you're going.
No, you gotta. We played the game twice. I tell everyone to go, and then we start the timer.
God, this was months ago, and I have PTSD from the last time. For Christ's sakes.
God. Okay,
all right, I will be clear with the go.
Thank you,
Andre.
Okay,
I would like you in 45 seconds to give me as many Canadian cities with the province as you can. Go.
Oh, man. Winnipeg is in Manitoba, right? Edmonton is in Alberta. British Columbia has Vancouver. Toronto is in... Goddamn, Nova Scotia. I really don't fucking know. As we get east, I really don't know. Maybe Toronto is also in... Toronto's not in Saskatchewan. Jesus Christ. Montreal is in Manitoba? I don't fucking know, man. That's about all I got. I'm gonna let okay.
Boy, only 3. My God.
Yeah, that's a good one, and I feel like I probably could have done better, obviously, but Jesus Christ. Well, okay. Before he comes back, I feel like Steve's gonna get at least 4 here. I think I'm toast.
For the record, Toronto's in Ontario.
Ontario, god fucking damn it. Okay. That's the one I always forget about. Anyway, okay. Come back, Steve. Come back from the soundproof booth.
Steven, are the grapes gone?
No, there were a few left, and I brought my own tea. You didn't give me any. You didn't put any drinks in there. You just put a bunch of grapes in there.
Grapes are full of liquid.
Yeah.
Maybe Andre just left you like the shrivelly ones, the like shitty ones from the bottom of the bag.
That turned to raisins.
No, he left like a reasonable amount of grapes behind, but that's all that was in there. You just put grapes in. Andre usually leaves a spread.
I understand, but if there's like crackers or something, you definitely need something to drink. I get it. But grapes, not so much.
I thought maybe his tactic was like, let's let this bitch dehydrate and then he'll definitely fail the game. Raisins, no liquid. Sorry. All right, Steve.
What's the thing?
Tell him how many I got, though.
Andre got 3, and he stumbled around, and I was pretty disappointed in him. I really feel like he could have done. I know you can do way better than 3.
I don't like my odds
confident.
now, but what do we got?
Okay. Steve, in 45 seconds, I want you to give me as many Canadian cities with the province they are in. Go.
Holy shit. Man, I'm just conceding this one to Andre because I don't stand a fucking chance.
Come on.
Oh, boy. Cities with the province they're in. Boy. Yeah, I'm a big old dummy.
What province is Toronto in?
Oh, no.
Man.
You guys should both be ashamed of yourselves.
I mean, I just couldn't remember. I mean, I got a few. Come on. I got a few.
If I was asked for American cities with the states, I feel like in 45 seconds I could bang off over 10.
But we're famous. Wow. It's different.
We're on fire all the time, so you know what's happening here.
Yeah. We're famous as fuck. Everyone knows our shit. Come on.
That was weak. I genuinely expected better out of both of you on that one.
I don't know. I think geography isn't my strong suit. Well, it's a better strong suit than Game Boy fucking Color. However, like, yeah. Oh man, that was a struggle one. That was like 2 baseball games that were like 1-0, 2-1. That was a struggle game. That was fun though.
Oy, that was
so
something.
How do we score this? Now, Steve won the Game Boy Color one, but with 1. Andre won Canadian cities, but with 3. So does he win by default for having more in his topic, or is it just per game?
We can be a tie. Let's handshake over the internet for a tie, Steve. We can be a tie.
So hey, real quick, we're doing real good. We're running fine time, calm, and it's breakfast time, and we're at the breakfast buffet. What are you getting from the omelet bar? Obviously, you have that. Obviously, the waffle's queued up. We're waiting for the waffle. What are we asking the nice man in the chef's hat to make us assume all the regular ingredients are there?
This is just what we're getting on our omelet. We're not getting quiche on the side, right?
You can, but this is just an omelet.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can. Let me go first because I can bang this out pretty easy. I want cheddar and Monterey Jack. I want some mushrooms. I want some bacon. I want some diced green pepper. A bit of green onion. Some like cubed ham. That's it. That's what I want.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm not much of a mushroom eater, but omelets are one instance where I will eat mushrooms, but I don't think I would get them at the findtime.com buffet. I don't know why I made it .com. By the way, I'm waiting on my pancakes, not my waffles. I just want to make that clear.
Well, waffles are usually pancakes are usually in that, the serving tray. The waffles, they have that iron and it flips.
Yeah, some do fresh pancakes, but you don't really see it too often because it's easier to just dump them in the thing. But they're like the dollar pancakes. I like big ass pancakes. Is the thing. Anyway, I'm a one cheese man. I stick to one cheese, whether that's, I don't care what it is, cheddar, American, Jack, it doesn't matter, pepper Jack. I usually like to go with one. I think I like the Jack cheese in an omelet. Bacon is an absolute must for an omelet. I don't think I would ever want one without one. Yeah. Do you agree, Steve? You got to have,
See, all that sounds good, because when I go to the breakfast buffet with the omelet bar, I take a quick scan, make sure there's no mushrooms, because I can't eat mushrooms. They cause me problems. Not going to get into that here. And then I will pretty much tell them, yeah, just make everything I see here happen. Just load it all in there.
Oh man, you're like an everything omelet guy?
Not at home. At home, I will be more. I will be more. Take more of a concerted effort to, curate these things. But when I'm there at the breakfast buffet, I'm putting Mr. Omelet Chef's skills to the test. I want you to cram all these choices into that thing. And then even the cheese, yes, all the cheese. Let's go. just
my
put
God,
it in there. It's good.
I can also get down with all the cheese.
That's a lot. Now I got to be choosy. I only like a few ingredients: bacon, green onion, preferably. I like any onion is fine with me, but definitely green onion is the way to go for an omelet. But if you have other types of onion, that's fine. But those are like my only requirements. Other than that, I just do like a basic bitch, what they call it here, a Denver omelet, just cheddar cheese and ham. It's perfectly fine with me. I feel like I could never go wrong with that. So yeah, I just like a few ingredients. Oh, I like when I like doing getting a little foo-foo if they have something green. If I like spinach in an omelet, I like asparagus in an omelet.
Haven't had asparagus. I mean, in an omelet.
It's really good stuff. I decided is that an out here thing? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm sure I can make it on my own time.
Yes, you can make it.
I know. Sorry, I like
fuck.
Asparagus in an omelet is highly illegal in New York.
I mean, my God.
I mean, it might be. I got to check my zoning board.
I swear to God, I am like really tempted to, when we're done recording, to go upstairs and make an omelet. Like really tempted.
I legit think I'm going to get one for dinner. I think that.
Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's my ideal omelet. Just a few things. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple omelet man. Gotta have bacon though. That is a must. It all starts with bacon. Anyway, I guess we can get the fuck out of here. Thanks for listening. Follow Fine Time Podcast on Twitter. Look in the description of this podcast to follow all three of us on Blue Sky. See you next time. Bye.
We'll see you next time on Fine Time.
We've been spending way more money than we earn, investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fartnite.
Yes.
Excellent.
Just leave it in.
Leave it.
Oh, no. I'll put it in at the end of the show.
Fine.
That's staying. Everyone will hear it, though.